Good morning. This morning I just wanted to run through a quick little crash course in probiotics and then another video on prebiotics. So please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. This is kind of a trial run for developing content in the future that's more dietetics based. So let's get into it. So what are probiotics? Well, probiotics are bacteria. So we've all heard of antibiotics, and we know that what they do is they kill bacteria. So probiotics, pro meaning life or live bacteria. So what probiotics are actually helpful bacteria that live within our intestines. So for the most part, they live in our colon, which is our large intestine, and some of them live in the ileum and the distal or part of the small intestine that is near the large intestine. So what they do, well, they are a source of immunity, like a source of protection for our guts. So basically, we're taking in lots of stuff from the outside world. We're eating it. Our greens, our meats, our anything really has the potential to have harmful bacteria on it. So one thing that our probiotics do is provide us immune protection. They eat the bad bacteria. They basically outcompete the bad bacteria so that the good bacteria triumph and we don't get sick. Another thing that probiotics do is actually manufacture something called vitamin K. Some of you have probably heard of vitamin K. It is our clotting vitamin. It allows us to stop bleeding, to form scabs, that kind of thing. So it's a really important role that probiotics play is to help us stop bleeding. Now, something else that probiotics do that is slightly, I don't want to say controversial, but they kind of help us digest our food and they help our enzymes do their jobs better. So the part of that that isn't controversial is that bacteria actually does help us break down things that our body cannot. So one of those would be cellulose. And when I say cellulose, I mean those parts of vegetables. For instance, think of celery. It's really stringy, it's really woody. Most of that is actually the cell wall of the plant. And our bodies lack an enzyme or lack any sort of mechanism to break that part of the plant down. But bacteria can do this readily. So they actually break that down to help it pass through our digestive system without causing us too much upset. The part of this that is a bit controversial is whether probiotics actually help our bodies break down other things. We do know that in people with lactose intolerance, for example, a lot of the discomfort from lactose intolerance is that these bacteria are actually digesting the lactose that has gotten to them because our bodies cannot break it down further up in the digestive tract. So this isn't to say that people who are lactose intolerant should not have any bacteria in their digestive tract, because as I mentioned earlier, those other two functions, immune function and vitamin K, are much outweigh the discomfort from lactose intolerance. But bacteria could potentially play other roles in breaking down our food, which is where it may be helpful in people with any sort of digestive upset, such as Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis or indeterminate colitis or irritable bowel syndrome or celiac disease or any of those things. So these bacteria could potentially play a larger role in breaking down our food and having less digestive upset, which might be counterintuitive, thinking that these bacteria could cause digestive upset due to the breakdown of lactose. But lactose is sugar, and one of the main breakdown components of that is CO2. So that's where we get that bloated, gassy feeling if we're lactose intolerant and we eat some dairy. So those are the main roles of probiotics. Now, when we take antibiotics, as I mentioned earlier, pro means life, anti, obviously, it's antagonistic to bacteria. So antibiotics actually kill bacteria, but they kill indiscriminately, meaning they kill all types of bacteria. They kill the bad bacteria, they kill the good bacteria. So the main thing that we need to do if we have any sort of infection and we're taking antibiotics is to make sure that we supplement our diets with probiotics. So the next question, where do probiotics come from? Well, we've all seen the supplements in stores, which are fantastic ways to get your probiotics. There's nothing wrong with supplementing the diet in that way. But we can also get them through things like yogurt, which I'm sure most people know. You've all seen the Activia commercials. These type of foods contain live bacteria. They contain live cultures. So when you're looking on your yogurt container, what you want to do is make sure that it says live cultures. And it's going to be some sort of bifidobacteria, most likely, or lactobacteria. And so those are all probiotics. Those are great. They make it to your gut and they recolonize. Other things like kefir, which is kind of like yogurt, it's another dairy-based product, and things like sauerkraut, things that are fermented, also help with probiotic recolonization. So when I say fermented also, I do not mean beer. So alcohol can actually retard the bacteria and make it so they don't actually make it all the way to your gut, which is where we want them there. We don't want them to die on the way to our colons. So those are the main places that we're going to get them from our diets. But again, like I said, we can also get them from supplements. And one of the next videos I'm going to film is going to be comparing and contrasting the different supplements that you can get on the market these days. And many of them are great. And I will go through in that video what you want to look for specifically on the label that is going to be most beneficial to you, particularly for my friends with digestive issues, such as myself. So that's it for this video, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day and stay tuned for those other videos.